was the nature of the threat?
Well, the nature of the threat was a call about essentially, it was a little confusing, but it came out as a potential kidnapping, maybe some information about guns being available or out there, and that's really how it came in. So,
is there any threat to the campus right now?
well, we are still clearing the campus, so I wouldn't say that we have not cleared the scene yet. So, but we are working on it. We have come across no threat at this point. So.
Okay, hold on just a second. Let me get the gentleman on the phone. What's your question, sir?
I was going to ask the same question. What was the nature of the credible threat?
Okay, we really can't confirm just yet. We're still trying to obtain that information, but you know, whether the call came in as credible or not, we're still working to confirm whether or not it's credible. But at this time, we take every single phone call important to us, and we treat it as real.
Have officers or deputies been to the origin of the call to investigate?
So
This is Chief Summers from Chattanooga Police Department.
Harry Summers, right. So that's a question I think that we should that probably can't answer right this minute.
Fair enough.
What's the most important thing for the public to know right now?
Well, from a police perspective, I think that from everybody else outside the campus, there's no reason to believe that there's any issues for them. There's no danger for them, and we have actually found thus far nothing dangerous yet on campus. But we're still looking, so we want to be cautious and careful and prudent with what we say. But I don't think that we see a greater danger at this time outside of what we're even looking at right now. So.
And so, to just reiterate what Chief Summers says, is they have many police services that are on foot, that are securing the scene, actually going outside of the Chattanooga State area as well, which is River Park area, and nothing has been reported yet that is considered a credible threat. So, but as far as the Chattanooga State, it continues to be on lockdown and will remain on lockdown until they have confirmed that everything has been cleared by every single building of every single room. So we will continue. As I said, Amnicola Highway is free to move about. The only thing is any students, if they're trying to get into the college or try to leave the college, they're not able to do that at this time.
Chief Summers, are you able to kind of go into depth as to what divisions of CPD are in there working right now?
I would just say we had a good large number of people already on campus who responded immediately. So and that wasn't just CPD, but there were a number of other law enforcement groups that were there, including our federal partners. So.
Anything else?
Yeah, I think part of my answer to this was this trending potentially toward a situation like granted last year with potential hoax. But, furthermore, with all the school arrests that we've seen in the last week or two, just kind of how much does that raise the urgency of responding to this particular threat?
Well, I can speak on behalf of the Emergency Operations Center. We have so many agencies that are here in support for Chattanooga State. We also have the FBI is here. They are helping with this investigation to help to see whether or not and confirm if this is a real credible threat or if it is a hoax. So it's still too early to confirm that, but as soon as we can confirm that we don't have a credible threat to Chattanooga State, we are continuing to treat this as real.
Also, I noticed there were some CARTA buses stationed across the street as well. So
yes.
Is that going to be for students, and where are they going to be taken to be reunited?
Right. So we have been informed that Chattanooga State does have CARTA buses across the street from Amnicola Highway. Do you want to speak on that as far as for students?
So I think generally Chattanooga State has in its care hundreds of faculty and staff, thousands of students, including 3 high schools and 1 child care center. Grateful to the partners in law enforcement who are joining us to help keep our campus safe. We are waiting for the all clear, and we don't have that in this moment. So buses are staged should they be needed, and when our law enforcement say all clear, which we hope we hear very soon, then that is when we will lift the lockdown. Until then, any faculty and staff and students on our campus, if you are experiencing a medical crisis in this moment, please call 911.
Anything else?
And how will parents learn, like, once that, we'll go out through Tiger Alert when that lockdown's lifted?
Correct. We will use our Tiger Alert for that update, absolutely.
Everybody good? And if we have any updates, we will come right back out here and let you know.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds great.
Great. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Bye.
At Chattanooga State Community College, where this situation has been going now for nearly 2 hours. Let me review because technically we were able to get about half of that briefing. The FBI is now on the scene. They are on the campus of Chattanooga State right now. They are there. Chattanooga State remains on lockdown. What they said earlier, and we did not pick this up in the briefing, but what was communicated by emergency operations is a call came in. A call came in, and the call again talking about a possible kidnapping and possibly a gun involved. And that is all they said. Now, I'm not going to speculate, but could be more than that. Obviously, no more than that. But that is what was said publicly in the press briefing. There are CARTA buses standing by across the street. They just said in the press briefing for students if they need it. I did find it interesting that the lady speaking for Chattanooga State, this is my ignorance. I don't know if that was maybe the president of Chattanooga State. We're not sure on that, but she was speaking for Chattanooga State. There are 3 high schools, so obviously a dual enrollment type of thing. There, she said 3 high schools and a child care center on campus at Chattanooga State. Not to mention the thousands of students that attend Chattanooga State Community College. And she said that is what they are concerned about the most. But again, they did talk about calls that came into Chattanooga State, one talking about a gun, another a kidnapping, and all right. And I'm being told by a law enforcement source right now that it would be a felony. It would be a felony based on their capture anyone who did this. So again, that is what was talked about publicly as far as what the reasoning is that Chattanooga State has been on lockdown, where they sent an alert out just for 10 o'clock this morning telling their students, their faculty, their staff to go indoors and lock the doors. Go indoors and lock the doors. We're getting also, we have seen video. Now look, in the folks in the age of social media, we understand there's a lot of rumors around. But there's also video that we've seen from people we know down there where it shows law enforcement sweeping the campus. And that was the last report that Chattanooga State put out at about 10 after 11 was that the lockdown continues, that the campus is being swept by Chattanooga police. There is and if you're watching us on mixtv.tv, we are you are seeing the law enforcement presence is incredible down there, and obviously whatever this is warranted this type of response. And Austin Chadwick's in here with me. Austin?
Okay, so the Chattanooga police, they said during that press conference, I had to go back and listen to it just a second because he was very short, but he said that they have seen no suspect and that they have they've not captured a suspect and they've seen no gunfire at this point. So no one's reporting that there was gunfire. No one's reporting that there's suspect. That's the only thing he said. Now, of course, we've heard so many other things. Until we can confirm it, we're not going to say that. But that is what he said during the press conference.
And so that is exactly right. So we're live on Mix 1041. We're on mixtv.tv. The FBI is on campus, along with Chattanooga Police, Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, and one would think other law enforcement agencies. And they are, again, sweeping the campus is what we know. As they said in the press conference earlier, there were a couple of phone calls made into Chattanooga State, which at least partially prompted all of this. We don't have the full information. We do not know if, in fact, more happened or more didn't happen as far as the reason for all of this. However, I will say that in the very beginning, law enforcement told Local 3, our news partners, that in fact there was a credible threat. Then they described it as a credible threat. Chattanooga Police, as Austin just said in their press briefing a few minutes ago, saying that there has been no suspect seen nor located on the campus, that they have no suspect, is basically what they're saying in their press briefing. So the situation continues on the Chattanooga State campus at this hour. Here we are about 15 minutes before noon, and the situation is continuing. Lockdown, students, faculty, staff, all locked down. The representative for Chattanooga State said in the press briefing they have 3 high schools represented on the campus, meaning that they have something like a dual enrollment. There they have a child care center on campus. There are CARTA buses waiting if they're needed to transport students potentially. The FBI is involved. They are now there at Chattanooga State. So it is still as law enforcement in their briefing. That was the Emergency Management Agency briefing for Hamilton County, saying that this indeed is an active situation in the fact that it's a continuing situation. They are still on lockdown. So we're going to step away here. When we have any updates, we're going to bring it to you. We know there are also a lot of Cleveland and Bradley County people from this listening area involved at Chattanooga State. There's obviously a lot of concern, and there's a lot of communication, we understand, between people at Chattanooga State, and in fact, they are communicating obviously with people. I would point you to some state law that began on July 1st, and one of the this state law was sponsored by Senator Adam Lowe who's of course here in Cleveland, an act to amend the Tennessee Code to make it a criminal offense as an act that establishes it unlawful for a person to intentionally initiate or circulate a report of a past, present, or impending active shooter and hostage situation. Knowing the report is false, this becomes a crime. This took place, that law took place, came into effect July the 1st in Tennessee. And we said it earlier. Over the last few weeks, there have been Channel 3 says 8 threats. Now these were to middle and high schools in our listening area, and mostly in Hamilton County, one at McMinn Central High School. So there have been a lot of threats, but at this point, we simply do not know exactly what is happening other than what they passed along in the briefing. Chattanooga State under lockdown. They are still on lockdown. We are going to go back to regular programming right now. It is 14:40. We will come back and reset what is happening at noon during our local and state news break at noon today. So here in about 15 minutes or so, we will do that. You're listening to Mix 1041. You're watching us on mixtv.tv. We're going to come right back with more. Go back to regular programming. We'll be back with an update at noon.
Blow off your boat trip. Cancel.
This is Nancy Patterson, PIO for Chattanooga State, and Steve DeRemus with Hamilton County Schools. So this morning, and my name is Amy Maxwell with Hamilton County Emergency Management, speaking on behalf of the Emergency Operations Center. At 9:45 a.m., we received a credible threat at the Chattanooga State's main campus located on M. Nicola Highway. At 9:52 a.m., Chattanooga State sent out a release, I should say a text message that put Chattanooga State on lockdown for security and safety of the students. And at 10:12, Hamilton County Office of Emergency Management sent out their emergency notification as well, that have subscribed to our emergency notification system, that we were on lockdown and to avoid the area of Chattanooga State at this time. So what do we have right now? So when we received the credible threat, we had Chattanooga State, Campus Police, Chattanooga Police Department, Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, and Hamilton County Park Rangers responded to the scene, and top priority was securing the safety of campus. What is that entitled? They go through every single building at Chattanooga State and confirm that the scene is safe. So during a lockdown with students in each of these buildings, because we're all in session at school, all these first responders, they go in and they secure each building and each door, every room that's inside this campus. Now, once they clear that room, the students remain on lockdown in the building, in the room. So they are still there currently until the scene has been completely safe. We do have Chattanooga Fire Department that's on the scene as well. We have had reports of a possible gas leak. Right now, our top priority is to make sure that the scene is safe before we start looking to see if we have a gas leak. But Chattanooga Fire is there staging, and once command has informed that the scene is safe, they will go in and they will confirm whether or not that we have a gas leak with using their radiological monitoring systems. Hamilton County EMS responded to the scene as well. They have been staging at campus, ready to assist any potential injuries. Mike Guerin, PIO for EMS, said that they had 2 that they were treating for anxiety. Under this kind of situation, I can understand why. Also, we have no reports of any additional injuries. We have had many calls from parents, concerns about county schools. Are they at a threat? Do we need to go on lockdown? Steve DeRemus with with the county school system had said that they had potentially put Hardy School under brief lockdown, but they are not on lockdown anymore, only because they were near the area. As of right now, Steve Doremus has reported that there are no schools, no county schools are on lockdown at this time. Nicola Highway, as you can see, remains to be open, both directions. And that's where we are right now. So that just gives you a brief update. This is a continuing in process situation. So right now our top priority is to assist Chattanooga State and get the scene safe and back to a sense of normalcy. When we get more additional information to confirm whether this is a real credible threat or not, we will let you know as soon as possible. And at this time I will take, do we have any questions from anybody?
Have there been any credible reports of shots being fired?
Hold on just a second. I'll get you next. Go ahead.
Have there been any credible reports of shots being fired and anyone last being taken hostage?
Chief Summers?
So, no, there hasn't been. So we have not found, we have been there since almost the discovery of the incident or the call that came in. We had people, many law enforcement officers already on campus there at the time when it came in. So we had an immediate reaction. We have seen or heard no gunfire. We have encountered no suspect physically or victims either way. So, no.
We heard that there are possible reports of any hostages. Does that have any credibility to it?
At this point in time, we have not found any victims at any sort. So we are still, like was said, we are still searching some buildings, we're still clearing buildings, but up to now we have come across none of that. So.
What was the nature of the threat?
Well, the nature of the threat was a call about essentially, it was a little confusing, but it came out as a potential kidnapping, maybe some information about guns being available or out there, and that's really how it came in. So,
is there any threat to the campus right now?
well, we are still clearing the campus, so I wouldn't say that we have not cleared the scene yet. So, but we are working on it. We have come across no threat at this point. So.
Okay, hold on just a second. Let me get the gentleman on the phone. What's your question, sir?
I was going to ask the same question. What was the nature of the credible threat?
Okay, we really can't confirm just yet. We're still trying to obtain that information, but whether the call came in as credible or not, we're still working to confirm whether or not it's credible. But at this time, we take every single phone call important to us, and we treat it as real.
Have officers or deputies been to the origin of the call to investigate?
So
this is Chief Summers from Chattanooga Police Department.
Harry Summers, right? So that's a question I think that I probably can't answer right this minute.
Fair enough.
Okay. What's the most important thing for the public to know right now?
Well, from a police perspective, I think that from everybody else outside the campus, there's no reason to believe that there's any issues for them. There's no danger for them, and we have actually found thus far nothing dangerous yet on campus. But we're still looking, so we want to be cautious and careful and prudent with what we say. But I don't think that we see a greater danger at this time outside of what we're even looking at right now. So.
And so, to just reiterate what Chief Summers says, is they have many police services that are on foot, that are securing the scene, actually going outside of the Chattanooga State area as well, which is River Park area. And nothing has been reported yet that is considered a credible threat. So, but as far as the Chattanooga State, it continues to be on lockdown and will remain on lockdown until they have confirmed that everything has been cleared by every single building of every single room. So we will continue. As I said, Nicola Highway is free to move about. The only thing is any students, if they're trying to get into the college or try to leave the college, they're not able to do that at this time.
Chief Thomas, are you able to kind of go into depth as to what divisions of CPD are in there working right now?
I would just say we had a good large number of people already on campus who responded immediately. So, and that wasn't just CPD, but there were a number of other law enforcement groups that were there, including our federal partners. So.
Anything else?
Yeah, I think part of my answer to this was this trending potentially toward a situation like Brandon last year with the potential hoax. But, furthermore, with all the school arrests that we've seen in the last week or two, just kind of how much does that raise the urgency of responding to this particular threat?
Well, I can speak on behalf of the Emergency Operations Center. We have so many agencies that are here in support for Chattanooga State. We also have the FBI is here. They are helping with this investigation to help to see whether or not and confirm if this is a real credible threat or if it is a hoax. So it's still too early to confirm that, but as soon as we can confirm that we don't have a credible threat to Chattanooga State, we are continuing to treat this as real.
I also noticed there were some CARTA buses staging across
Yes.
the street as well. So
Yes.
is that going to be for students, and where are they going to be taken to be reunited?
Right, so we have been informed that Chattanooga State does have CARTA buses across the street from Amicola Highway. Do you want to speak on that as far as for students?
So I think generally Chattanooga State has in its care hundreds of faculty and staff, thousands of students, including 3 high schools and 1 child care center. Grateful to the partners in law enforcement who are joining us to help keep our campus safe. We are waiting for the all clear, and we don't have that in this moment. So buses are staged should they be needed, and when our law enforcement say all clear, which we hope we hear very soon, then that is when we will lift the lockdown. Until then, any faculty and staff and students on our campus, if you are experiencing a medical crisis in this moment, please call 911.
Anything else?
And how will parents learn, like, once that we'll go after Tiger Alert when that lockdown's lifted?
Correct. We will use our Tiger Alert for that update, absolutely.
Everybody good? And if we have any updates, we will come right back out here and let you know. Okay? Great. Thank you.
A very good afternoon, everyone. It's coming up on noon here. You're listening to Mix 1041. You're watching us on mixtv.tv. We have been following the situation at Chattanooga State, where the lockdown continues down there. Now we're joined by Mike Guerin. He is the Public Information Officer for Hamilton County EMS. Mike, good afternoon, buddy.
Good afternoon, Steve.
You were of course, in Bradley County for a long time, and I want to start from the top. We had your press briefing a few minutes ago on our air here, and I want to just get the very latest. We know that according to the press briefing, a phone threat came into Chattanooga State at 9:45 this morning, and of course the lockdown is still in progress. What's the very latest down there, Mike?
Yes, we did receive some calls about 9:45. It was very confusing. We first received a report of a gas leak at Chattanooga State. So we had officers and Chattanooga Fire Department already on scene, and then we received some phone calls of a possible hostage situation. Also, it was brought up that there were some weapons involved. At this time, Chattanooga police, Hamilton County Sheriff's Department, we got THP, FBI. They're all on the scene, and they've been clearing the campus. There's absolutely been no evidence of any kind of hostage situation. There's been nothing corroborated about anybody being armed. We're really hoping that this is a hoax, and that's what it's appearing to be at this time. There've been a lot of erroneous reports of gunfire and things of that nature out in the community. There's been absolutely nothing found, and no injuries, no gunfire, nothing at this time.
We're joined by Mike Guerin live here on Mix 104.1 as well as MixTV.tv. Mike, it's interesting. The last couple of weeks, maybe the last few weeks, the threats that have been coming into to public schools, secondary schools, middle and high schools, mostly in Hamilton County. We did have the one threat in McMinn County. Is there a thought that this may be part of this rash of threats we're seeing?
It could be. I know law enforcement is looking at that aspect. Of course, first and foremost, they have to treat this as a real situation. So they're still, as we're speaking, finishing up clearing the campus to make sure that it is safe. But yeah, they're definitely going to look and see if any of that is tied in together for sure.
We're joined by Mike Guerin. He is now Hamilton County EMS Public Information Officer. Of course, was in Bradley County for a long, long time. Mike, now, what I think about, especially there in the press briefing, and then what we heard initially, was that it was a credible threat. Was that maybe an initial reaction, Mike?
Yeah, I think they take it as until they can prove otherwise, they take it as a real threat. The information that came out at the beginning, there's just no way to corroborate it other than go in and look for it. And there was a vast amount of law enforcement officers on the scene. They quickly assembled teams and started methodically clearing all the campus buildings. And as time's passed on, they've been unable to corroborate any of the initial reports.
Well, Mike, I really appreciate you joining us. Mike Guerin is the Public Information Officer for the Hamilton County EMS. Anything else that you would like the public to know at this point?
I think the main thing is just don't pay attention to the erroneous reports. If you don't hear it from the officials, don't believe it. There's a lot of reports out there of things that's just not happening. Just get your news from the news agencies and the officials as they report it.
Mike Guerin, Mike, we appreciate your time. Keep us updated if you can, okay?
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you, and I will.
Thank you, sir. Mike Guerin is of course, been a long time at the Bradley County EMS here in Cleveland, and now he is the Public Information Officer for EMS in Hamilton County. But the headline in our interview just now is that Mike Guerin says that it appears to be a hoax. It appears to be a hoax. There has been no evidence found of anything that was called in. Mike saying, in fact, the call came in at 9:45. There was talk, one call about a gas leak, one about weapons, is what he said. There have been all kinds of rumors, and we've talked about this morning. In this age of social media, so many false rumors get out, more so really than ever. This is also, I would say, is also good news. Is that in fact at this point nothing has been found. Chattanooga State sent another update. A matter of fact, 1 minute ago. Thank you very much. 1 minute ago, And they say, quote, "Thank you for your patience. We're still in lockdown, Thank you for your patience. Updates will continue to be shared." And we just got that in 1 minute ago from Chattanooga State. So again, Mike Guerin, Public Information Officer for Hamilton County EMS. Again, if you're just joining us here on Mix 104.1 Radio, we're on mixtv.tv. Steve Hartline with you. And Mike Guerin, former head of the Bradley County Emergency Medical Service. He is now in Hamilton County at the Hamilton County EMS as their Public Information Officer, saying it appears to be a hoax. There is no evidence, no hostages, no victims. Now, earlier in the press briefing about a half hour ago, the Chattanooga Police Chief Harry Summers said in that briefing, quote, "No suspects have been encountered," end quote. The initial calls came in. It sounds like there was more than one call, but at least one call in the Chattanooga State saying that Mike just talked about a call about a gas leak, which was not found, and then also a call about weapons and gunfire, that sort of thing, hostages. All of those have turned out at this point to be unfounded. So that is good news, obviously. We have a lot of parents and family and friends listening right now or watching us right now who have connection at Chattanooga State. And so I'm sure that the interview that we just did with Mike Guerin should bring some, hopefully will bring some peace at this time, that at this point, no evidence of anything has been found at Chattanooga State. Is this, and I asked him that, is this part of the rash of threats that we have seen 8 times, eight different schools in Hamilton County, in McMinn County? We have had, I want to go back to that. Channel 3 did a great job, did a great story just this morning, our news partners at Local 3. In fact, pointing out we've had 8 school threats at middle and high schools, at secondary schools in southeast Tennessee since August the 8th. Today's the 29th. So the last 3 weeks, Ooltewah Middle School, McMinn Central High School, Brown Middle, Hickson Middle, Red Bank High School, East Hamilton High School, Brown Middle, and Chattanooga Preparatory School have all had phoned in. I think one of them actually was an email threat. And we're not going to make any type of finality or any type of statement here to summarize. It's not the time. But if what Mike Guerin just told us, the Public Information Officer for Hamilton County EMS, bears true, then in fact, this could be categorized as another threat. Don't know, we really have no perspective as to why all of these threats at one time. But then I'm reminded that if you're watching us on mixtv.tv, you're seeing a live shot with our partners at Local 3 from their Sky 3 camera of the campus. They're still there, and they're still on lockdown. Here at 10 afternoon, they are still on lockdown down there. But even calling in a threat to a school is now a criminal offense. And so there have been arrests made in some of these cases. And we do know yesterday at Howard in Chattanooga that a student had a gun. We do know that. That was reported yesterday morning, so maybe that was actually Tuesday, where a gun was on campus. A student had a firearm. We do know that. But in these other cases, they have been threats. And obviously, Chattanooga State law enforcement, they have to take everything very seriously. again, though, you go back to when this all started about 10 o'clock, law enforcement said it was a credible threat. Change the narrative a little bit there in the beginning, but now, again, I'm just going to summarize quickly. Mike Guerin, we just had him on our air. Public Information Officer, Hamilton County Emergency Medical Service, said it appears to be a hoax. There is no evidence. There are no hostages, and there are no victims. Hamilton County, Chattanooga Police Chief Harry Summers said in the press briefing they have not encountered a suspect. But we are going to stay on this story until the lockdown is lifted. So we're going to go back to regular programming right now. You're listening to Mix 1041. You are watching us on mixtv.tv. I'm Steve Hartline. This has been a Mix 1041 WCLE News special report.